Alexander the Great, one of history's most iconic figures, conquered an empire that spanned 3 continents in just over a decade. His reign was marked by extraordinary military achievements, cultural expansion, and a legacy that continues to influence the world today. Let's explore the remarkable life and conquests of Alexander the Great. Born in 356 BC in Pella, Macedonia, Alexander was the son of King Philip II and Queen Olympias. From a young age, he showed great promise, both intellectually and physically. At the age of 13, he was tutored by the philosopher Aristotle, who instilled in him a love for philosophy, science, and the arts. This education would later influence Alexander's approach to leadership and governance. In 336 BC, at the age of 20, Alexander ascended to the throne after the assassination of his father. Despite his youth, Alexander quickly established his authority, quelling rebellions and uniting the Greek city-states under his rule. His ambition was clear: to continue his father's legacy and expand Macedonian power beyond the Greek world. In 334 BC, Alexander set his sights on the Persian Empire, one of the most powerful empires of the time. Crossing the Hellespont with his army, he began his campaign in Asia Minor. His first major victory came at the Battle of Granicus, where he demonstrated his military genius by defeating a much larger Persian force. Alexander's campaign against the Persians continued with the decisive Battle of Issus in 333 BC, where he faced King Darius III. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Alexander's tactical brilliance and the loyalty of his troops led to a crushing victory. Darius fled the battlefield, leaving his family and treasure behind, which Alexander treated with respect, further solidifying his image as a noble conqueror. The final blow to the Persian Empire came in 331 BC at the Battle of Gaugamela. Once again, Alexander's strategic prowess was on full display. He outmaneuvered Darius's forces, leading to the fall of the Persian capital, Persepolis. This victory marked the end of the Persian Empire and the beginning of Alexander's dominance over the known world. After defeating the Persians, Alexander turned his attention to Egypt, a land that had long been under Persian control. In 332 BC, he was welcomed as a liberator by the Egyptians, who were eager to throw off Persian rule. Alexander was declared a pharaoh and hailed as the son of the god Ammonius, which helped him solidify his rule over Egypt. During his time in Egypt, Alexander founded the city of Alexandria on the Mediterranean coast. This city was strategically located and designed to be a center of trade, culture, and learning. Alexandria would go on to become one of the most important cities of the ancient world, renowned for its great library and its role as a melting pot of Greek and Eastern cultures. Alexander's vision for Alexandria was part of his broader ambition to create a unified empire that blended the best of Greek and Eastern traditions. Having secured his hold on Egypt and the Persian Empire, Alexander pushed further east into Central Asia. His campaigns in these regions were marked by intense resistance from local tribes and kingdoms, but Alexander's determination never wavered. He established several cities, many of which bore his name, as he sought to consolidate his control over these vast territories. In 326 BC, Alexander crossed into India, where he faced one of his most challenging opponents, King Porus, at the Battle of the Hydaspes. The battle was fierce, with Alexander's forces facing war elephants and determined resistance. Despite the challenges, Alexander emerged victorious, and he treated Porus with respect, allowing him to retain his kingdom under Macedonian rule. However, Alexander's troops, weary from years of continuous campaigning, eventually refused to march further east. Faced with the prospect of mutiny, Alexander reluctantly agreed to turn back. His return journey was marked by a difficult crossing of the Gedrosian Desert, where his army suffered significant losses due to harsh conditions. Alexander's reign, though brief, had a lasting impact on the world. He spread Greek culture across the vast territories he conquered, leading to the Hellenistic period, where Greek art, literature, and philosophy flourished in the East. His policy of founding cities and encouraging cultural exchange created a legacy of cosmopolitanism that endured long after his death. In 323 BC, at the age of 32, Alexander died in Babylon under mysterious circumstances. Some theories suggest he succumbed to a fever, possibly malaria or typhoid, while others believe he was poisoned. With no clear successor, his empire quickly fragmented as his generals, known as the Diadochi, divided the territories among themselves, leading to a series of conflicts known as the Wars of the Successors. Despite the fragmentation of his empire, Alexander's influence continued to be felt for centuries. His conquests opened up trade routes between the East and West, and his legacy as a military genius and visionary leader remains unparalleled in history. Alexander the Great's reign was one of the most transformative periods in history. His conquests reshaped the ancient world, spreading Greek culture far and wide and leaving a legacy that continues to inspire. Though his life was short, the mark he left on the world is indelible, making him one of history's greatest figures.